Investigators look for a cause in the Mitchell fire. Join us tonight after the game.
March Madness starts here for the North Central Conference. On Wednesday, 4 teams kept their hopes alive for an automatic bid to the Division II playoffs. But last night, only North Dakota and Northern Colorado survived. Tonight, the Fighting Sioux and the Bears will battle for a guaranteed extension of their season as KELO Sports brings you championship night of the NCC 8 tournament. And welcome to the Sioux Falls Arena for championship night of the NCC 8 tournament. I'm Al Bahi along with Mark Ovenden. That UND Northern Colorado game will be coming up in a couple of hours, but in just a couple of minutes, South Dakota State and St. Cloud State will tip off for the third place game, and that still is an important basketball game as far as this tournament in the postseason goes, Mark. Very much so, Al, because South Dakota State, I think, is going to get that home court advantage, but they really would like to solidify it with a win here tonight. Plus, you don't want to go into a playoff situation with 2 straight losses. As for St. Cloud, they've got 19 wins, and any hopes of making the Division II playoffs are hinging on this one game here. You got to win 20. That's the magic number, especially when you've lost 10. All right, and that regional tournament, of course, will be next weekend. South Dakota State still with a great shot at getting in there, also with a great shot at hosting it. We'll be back with the tip-off of the third-place game right after this.
Because it's free, yes.
Just the fact that it's free.
I can write as many checks as I want per month, and it's free.
No minimum balance. It's free. Oh, it's 100% free.
It was just what they said it was going to be. Free.
With most insurance companies, you get a one-size-fits-all health care plan, which means you get and pay for all parts of the plan, whether you want them or not. But with Dakota Care Select, you get a health care plan that's specifically tailored for you. You select and pay for only the parts of the plan you want, and there are no strings and no claim form hassles. Which method of tailoring a health care plan looks better to you? Dakota Care Select. Isn't it time to take a look?
The word is on the street.
The NCC 8 on KELO is brought to you by Dakota Care, your community Norwest Bank, Northland Ford Dealers, DuPont, Dakota Sioux Casino, Royal Insurance, and Prostrello Motors.
Welcome back to the Sioux Falls Arena. Al Bahi along with Mark Ovenden, just about ready for the opening tip of this third place game. Starting lineups for South Dakota State taking on St. Cloud State. For the Jackrabbits, in at forward, Chris Counts, Jeff Boer, Pete Leiferman in the middle, Troy Bauman and Chris White in the backcourt. For the St. Cloud State Huskies, they'll start out this way. Scott Springer and Hog Sharnowski at forward, center Greg Keski, Dean Kessler and Dan Ward are your guards. The tip is up. We're underway with championship night of the NCC 8. St. Cloud controls. Ward on top will set things up. The Jacks come out in a matchup zone. Right away, a wild scramble for the ball. Troy Bauman comes away with it. The Jacks on the run. Boer right side. Bauman on top will set things up. St. Cloud State in what appears to be a man-to-man right now. Chris White left side. He's the man who carries the bulk of the scoring for the Jacks. Leiferman loose inside. The Jacks get the first bucket of the night. Some backcourt pressure by the Jackrabbits as the Huskies bring it across. Dan Ward working against Troy Bauman.
Al Ward has been quite a playmaker for a freshman. He has broken the single season mark for assists, averaging 8 of them per game.
Inside they go. Sharnowski can't handle it. Chris Counts comes away with it. Bauman, right side, collision at midcourt, no call. The Huskies come away with it. Ward with a 2-on-3, will hold up. Now he dishes. Looking for somebody, trapped down in the corner, gets it out to Sharnowski. Right side, they'll reset the offense. The Huskies, no shot there. Sharnowski baseline turnaround jumper is off the rim. Bauman comes away with it. Long up court to Boer. Nice move to kick it back out. Chris White counts on the baseline. Gives it back to White. Three-point shot from the corner is an air ball.
You don't see that very often from Chris White, who has really emerged as a superstar in this league. Voted most valuable player, and I think he and Gulseth easily the top 2 athletes in the league.
During the regular season, St. Cloud State lost both games to South Dakota State, so the Jackrabbits have that advantage. There's a baseline shot by Greg Kesty to get the St. Cloud State Huskies on the board, and we are tied at 2, just 2 minutes into the ball game. And each team has a field goal. Quick pass inside. White down low, goes up strong. He was fouled by Greg Kesty, the first one of the ball game. And
White will shoot too. He's a great free throw shooter. He does everything so well. 85% from the line. And of course, he was most valuable player. That just voted on a couple of days ago. Jim Thorson, coach of the year in the NCC, as the Jackrabbits clinched the title on the final day of the regular season. Seems like a long time ago. It was last Saturday night down in Sioux City that they beat Morningside.
White hits the first of 2. He is an 85% shooter from the line. And of course, you mentioned that all-conference team a little bit later on tonight. We will run down the whole list. There were 5 area players. There's your coach of the year, Jim Thorson.
White generally is a great second half player. Last night just couldn't get it done down the stretch. Night before last had just a couple of points at halftime and went nuts in the second half as they beat Morningside in the first round.
If you followed the Jacks all season, it's no surprise to see that backcourt pressure. They've done that to every team they faced this year. They will continue to do it through tonight and through the rest of their season. Kesky got loose inside, lost the ball. That was Sharnowski that came away with it underneath. Shot clock down to 20. Inside, Sharnowski, lob pass, won't get the roll. Good pass from Dan Ward that time.
Goaltending, they're going to count it.
It is a count. Goaltend, so Sharnowski gets credit for that basket. That'll tie the game up at 4. St. Cloud now has switched to a zone defense. Bauman left side, inside Leiferman. Looking for counts down low, nice defensive play. Scott Springer stepped in, and quickly up court, Kesty goes to the glass. And the Huskies take a 6-4 lead.
Nice fast break.
Butch Raymond of St. Cloud changing defenses every time they come back down the floor. They've gone back to a man-to-man. White working the right side. Counts on top. They're looking inside the Leiferman. There's the pass. Goes up strong. Was it blocked? He's calling a foul. I believe it'll be on Sharnowski.
It was blocked, but he also hit him with the body as Hogg kind of looked over at the official and shook his head and said, yeah, as you'll see right here. He goes up and actually blocks the ball. The foul is not on the arm, but the foul is on the follow-through by Hogg as he kind of bangs into him there a little bit. Pretty close.
They've been doing some banging in this tournament the past couple of days, so tonight won't be any different.
You know, last night's game between UND and South Dakota State, very, very physical, but they didn't call too terribly many fouls in that. Looks like they're going to try to keep it a little bit better under control tonight.
Leiferman from Aurora, South Dakota, converts both of his free throws. He's got 4 of the Jackrabbits, 6 points. There's your backcourt pressure again.
Easy, easy.
Nice
Steal by Jeff Boer. He's on a breakaway. Little showtime. Oh, he lays it in with a finger roll. Boo.
The all-time leading stealer in South Dakota State history, and that's why he is just a pickpocket. You got to watch out. You got to have eyes in the back of your head, or he's going to steal that ball away from you.
And on a play like that, when the Jackrabbit fans boo, it's not a sign of displeasure by any means.
No.
Absolutely the opposite, as a matter of fact. There's the backcourt pressure again. They kick it outside. Ward out top. Inside now to Sharnowski. Puts it on the floor, fakes, turns around, and gets the roll to go. Hogg Sharnowski.
Nice soft touch there by Sharnowski. Boy, the Huskies could not buy a basket in the second half last night. Just 26% from the floor.
Now gone back to his own defense. Chris White on the right side. Boer. Good pass inside. Brad Timmerman. Turnaround Jay is on the money. Brad Timmerman hits his first bucket of the game. It's a 10-8 lead for the Jackrabbits.
Both of these teams go 10 deep, Al. They run them in and out so fast you almost can't even keep track of it.
Chris White got a hand and slapped that ball away. It'll stay with the Huskies.
Good look at Butch Raymond.
We've got a timeout. We'll be back with the third place game of the NCCA tournament.
It's been said pursuit is strong. But what about foxtail and bigger pigweed? It's been said pursuit stands alone. But what about lamb's quarters and volunteer corn? It's been said pursuit is leader of the pack. But what is it really? The DuPont Total Post Program. Flexible control that beats pursuit on these tough weeds and grasses, even in no-till. Now at a competitive new price.
Of the 344 new cars and trucks being sold today, these are the top 10 sellers. And of these top 10 sellers, only one dealer can offer you 5 of them. Your local Ford dealer. From America's #1 selling small car, Ford Escort, to its design leader, Ford Taurus. From America's #1 selling compact pickup, Ranger, and sport utility, Explorer, to the world's #1 selling vehicle, Ford F-Series. With 5 of the top 10 sellers available at your local Ford dealer. Shouldn't you test drive one today?
15:37 to play in the first half of this third place game. South Dakota State leading St. Cloud State by a score of 10-8 right now. Butch Raymond calling shots in the St. Cloud State huddle.
And Jim Thorson on the South Dakota State side. Now they'll lose 3 senior starters to graduation. St. Cloud, I'm sure Butch is really excited about the fact that most of his team, all of his team is back next year. We got a lot of young talent in this league. North Dakota in the championship game tonight does not lose a single player, which is rather incredible that they've had the kind of year they've had with that kind of youth.
I tell you what, in talking with one of the security officers here at the arena before the game, he said he counted last night. There were 19 seniors playing in this NCCA tournament this weekend, 39 freshmen. So that tells you there are some young teams playing, and there are going to be some great years ahead if they all stick around for the North Central Conference.
And that's on the roster. That's not even playing necessarily.
That doesn't count recruits coming in either. So there are always some good freshmen that come into this league. St. Cloud State working inside. Charnowski double team down low off glass, no good. Corey Vandewettering in, and he clears the board, 1 shot and out. Bauman brings it up the left side for the Jacks. They look to take a 4-point lead right here.
They'd like to get Corey a little more involved in the game tonight. He played a great game against Morningside, had 20 points and a lot of rebounds. Last night he was held to 6.
They're still trying to work the inside. Here's Chris White. He's dangerous with the basketball. Boer, top of the key, right side. White is there. Back over to Bauman. Shot clock down to 15 for the Jackrabbits. Timmerman on the left side. Boo out on top. He's taking it down left corner. They're working the clock down to 5 on the shot clock. They're going to have to put one up. Slapped away, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Jackrabbits. They have 4 seconds to get a shot away.
Some felt maybe last night the Jacks tried a little too hard to push it inside and did not take a lot of open 15-footers. They're going to have to start doing that a little bit to open it up on the inside tonight.
They put it 1 second back on the shot clock. They have 5 seconds to get a shot up. Boer left side will fire it from 3-point land. No good. Vandewettering there for the board. No roll. Tapped up and in. Whistled it off. Vandewettering over the top as they were crashing the boards. Picks up the personal foul. And as you mentioned, he has been a strong force inside for the Jackrabbits.
He's had to be. With Coy Nelson getting hurt, some other people have had to step forward. And, of course, Pete Leifman's also done a great job in that center spot for the Jacks.
You see the way St. Cloud State just broke the pressure is the way North Dakota did it last night. The guards give it up to their big men and let them bring it up the court because they know that the Jacks, Bauman and White, are too quick defensively. Nice turnaround shot baseline for Dean Kessler, the leading scorer for the Huskies.
Heat a man, as they say at the golf tournament.
You got it. White inside, he'll draw a crowd. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Charnowski comes away with the board. Ward looking up court, pushing it up in a hurry. We're tied at 10. Charnowski in the lane, can't find anybody. Ward sets it against the man-to-man. Shot up on the right side is too strong off the iron by Springer. Bauman tracks it down, quickly up court, Boer left side. St. Cloud State getting back on defense. Don't want to let the Jackrabbits start running. That's what they're the best at, and that's what they love to do. That's how they've won 23 games
and
this
again,
season.
both of these teams similar in that respect, Al. They both love to shuffle guys in and out, so very rarely do you see a guy with his tongue hanging out on the floor on either one of these teams because they're just not in the game that long.
Part of that is because you'll see the players running in and out during the course of the game, as we have right now. Chris Bodette checking into the St. Cloud State lineup. He's a 6'9 junior, number 51, the big guy in the middle. White plays it in underneath. Vandewettering open left side. Now it's Bauman out top. Good pass inside. Vandewettering goes up strong. Got an elbow in the nose on the way down, but he counts the bucket. 12-10, Jackrabbits by 2. Ward off the pick, inside Charnowski. Good give and go on the pick.
That's what Ward does best. He is a great playmaker. Nice move.
Bauman calling out the plays as the Jackrabbits bring it down. Right side, looking for White inside. Not there as St. Cloud defense is that well. White kicks it out to Bauman from behind the strike. Not there. Springer pulls down the board. Ward pushing it up in a hurry all the way down the right side. Inside Charnowski, left-handed, won't go. Scramble for the ball. Huskies come away with it.
That should have been another assist. Nice pass by Ward.
Springer driving into the lane was taken down. It was a little bit of a wild drive to begin with.
Yeah, but when you end up on the floor, it's kind of hard for the official to call it the other way.
Yeah, he might have been a little out of control. I don't know. Let's see if it is.
Yeah, I'd say. LaTroy Span now in the game. He's done a pretty good job on the boards for St. Cloud. That's going to be a two-shot foul, I believe.
They're calling it before the shot. Butch Raymond wanted a shooting foul, but they called it on the drive, so Huskies will play it in under their own basket. Joel McDonald, number 33 in the game, one of those freshmen from Chisholm, Minnesota. And South Dakota State fans know that McDonald name very well. He had a couple of brothers and a sister that played ball up at South Dakota State a few years ago.
Goes back a long way.
Lob pass to Charnowski. It was there, just a little bit out of his reach as Ward put that one up. Jacks come away with it right side. Open is Ryan Notches for three. Neither team shooting extremely well as we get into this first half. Ward all the way down the middle. Almost got caught up in the air. Charnowski with a wild shot. LaTroy Spahn, not there. Mitch Lane pulls down the board. We're still tied at 12 with 11.5 minutes to play first half. Bauman dishes underneath. Pete Leiferman was going to go up strong. He was pounded by Charnowski. We'll have a two-shot foul there. Things a little wild in the early going here, Mark.
Yeah, it's a typical NCC game. This is a very physical league, and it's like a boxing match out there. Similar to last night, but they weren't even calling the fouls last night for the most part.
And as we mentioned before the game, this still is an important one as far as postseason goes. St. Cloud State looking for their 20th win of the year. And the Jackrabbits would love to solidify hosting that regional tournament next weekend.
Well, they've had such a great year. They've played exceptionally well throughout, and it was tough on them. That was a real pressure-packed weekend last weekend when they knew they just had to win one more game, went down to the Dome and lost down there, and of course wrapped it up on Saturday down in Sioux City.
Jacks by 2. We'll be back with more of the NCC 8.
Earning the trust of the people around you takes hard work. You have to be dedicated, reliable, and most of all, you must have proven yourself in the past. At the 6 Hour Company, we're celebrating 100 years of proving ourselves to our customers. For the past century, we've been there for you, offering quality seeds from America's heartland. We're committed to you. At the 6 Hour Company, we've been planting a century of success.
With most insurance companies, you get a one-size-fits-all health care plan, which means you get and pay for all parts of the plan, whether you want them or not. But with Dakota Care Select, you get a health care plan that's specifically tailored for you. You select and pay for only the parts of the plan you want. And there are no strings and no claim form hassles. Which method of tailoring a health care plan looks better to you? Dakota Care Select. Isn't it time to take a look?
11.5 minutes to go, first half. The Jackrabbits with a 2-point lead against St. Cloud State in this third-place game. The Huskies have won 2 North Central Conference regular season titles, 3 under Butch Raymond.
They won 3 straight from 86 through 88 when they had Kevin Catron and Reggie Perkins in that group. And, of course, they did extremely well here in the holiday basketball tournament as well. And I asked Butch, do you miss that? And he says, well, yeah, I've got some ties here, and I kind of miss it for that reason. But this tournament really is that much better because it allows the 9 teams that aren't going to win the regular season title to still have something legitimate to play for. And this tournament tonight is a living example of the fact that somebody other than the Jackrabbits is going to get into that regional tournament.
Huskies working their offense against the Good man-to-man defense by the Jacks. They're swarming all over the ball, chasing away. Last touch by LaTroy Span. And the Jacks will take control.
LaTroy has done a great job on the boards. They got about 4 big men that are about even in ability in terms of getting in there and banging on the boards and getting 6-7 rebounds a game. Chernowski has really played well so far early, and he's had a good tournament on the boards. He's had 16 rebounds in the 2 games, leading the team.
Shannon Dana's in the game for the Jacks. He brought the ball up. Leiferman baseline. Chris Counts takes it out right side. Works towards the key. Bounce pass Dana right corner. Still looking inside. Leiferman tried to get it to him. Knocked away, and fumble is recovered by. That's about what it looked like.
I guess they both had it, but it's going to be a South
Jump
Dakota
ball
State
will go
ball.
to South Dakota State on the alternate possession rule.
You know, we'll talk a lot about tradition in the second game of North Dakota, but St. Cloud, in the short time they've been in the league, has really developed a great winning tradition as well. And of course, the Jackrabbits. What can you say about the Jacks? And all the years I've been here, they've had tremendous teams, and they're almost unbeatable at Frost Arena, which is a fun place to watch a basketball game.
Except when they play North Dakota State for some reason. Jacks looking to extend a 2-point lead. Mitch Lane baseline. One-handed jumper won't go, but he's right there for the rebound. Jump ball. This time it goes the other way. St. Cloud State will put it into play. 10:25 to go first half. Jacks by 2. Working against the backcourt pressure. Ward on top. Shannon Dana's right there with him. Pick on the right side. Good help as they come back inside for the pick, and a foul called on the ball. Shannon Dana out of Rapid City picks up his first personal.
Do it now, do it!
Chris White coming back into the game for South Dakota State. Took a little breather. Has he scored yet tonight?
A
couple of free throws he had.
Free throws is all. I told you early in the game, he's a great second half player. He really is. He doesn't usually have 10 in one half and 10 in the other. He'll have 4 in one half and 16 in the other.
Coming down on the break, Ryan Notches put up a shot. Foul will go on Dean Kessler, number 31.
Kessler has been very quiet. You talk about Chris White. Kessler is easily the guy that they look to be their leading scorer, and they've really struggled. They shot 26% in the second half last night and just could not buy a basket. And I know that Dave Woods can sympathize with that because his team, I'm not sure if 26%, if they got to that the other night for the whole game against Northern Colorado.
I'll tell you what, the same thing happened to St. Cloud State in the first round against Nebraska Omaha. They shot 27% in the first half of that game.
They were down by a dozen.
So they haven't done real well in the first half of their 2 games here, but they came back strong against Omaha in the second half. Ryan Notches out of Milford, Iowa. Hits the first of 2 at the free throw line.
Good steady player. You know, the Jacks, they got about 8 guys on their roster that have played every game this year and every game last year.
He's one of what they call the bench bunch up at South Dakota State. Ball knocked away by Chris Counts in the backcourt after the made free throw. It's a 4-point lead for the Jacks now, their biggest of the game so far. Just under 10 minutes to play, first half. Full court press by the Jacks. Mitch Lane with a steal at half court. Gives it Timmerman right side drive. Foul called before the shot. Goes against Kessler with the push.
Yeah, they don't need Kessler in foul trouble.
Not averaging 20 points a game, they don't. He's an all-NCC player from Esterville, Iowa. Jacks played under the basket, wide open. Notches lays it up and in for the easy bucket. It's the Jacks by 6. Cross court, Kesty kicks it right side to Kessler. And let's set the offense against man-to-man. Dan Ward with Chris White in his face.
Jacks playing man-to-man defense.
Kessler fires for 3 and buries it.
You know, he hit 2 in a row to start the second half last night. They built a 5 or 7 point lead, and it looked like the game was over. Then they went like 11 minutes and scored 6 points. Just could not buy a basket after that.
White penetrates into the lane, ball slapped away, and Dan Ward and Butch Raymond not very happy with the call. But it goes against St. Cloud State.
These guys, you were talking about the youth of the league. St. Cloud has 3 freshmen that play a lot. Dino DeVita, who has not played yet, along with Ward, who has set a school record for assists, and he's only a freshman, and McDonald. And again, Jackrabbit fans certainly know that name. That goes back a long way. Paul McDonald back in the early 80s, and Tommy in the mid-80s. Both those players on great teams.
Nice dish underneath by Notches. Gave Chris Counts an easy, strong move to the bucket. Kesty, now we got some bumping.
No,
and
we've got
we have an official.
We've got a cramp down here.
Official pulling up lame. Not sure if he's got a cramp or if he twisted an ankle down there.
Well, Cappy, I think Cappy down here in the scorer's table is going to quick have to
I think we're going to
rip off the shirt and have the S on there, huh? Super referee. You know, to be honest with you, Al, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I kind of wonder if they're not better off with 2 officials. I almost think the 3 officials can get in each other's way, but we apparently have a timeout, and we'll be right back.
It doesn't cost me anything. That's what I like best about it, I guess. It doesn't cost me anything to use the card.
Well, I feel they give me an excellent rate.
We like the fact that I get my checks back at the end of the month.
Getting free checks I thought was a great idea, so I wouldn't have to pay for them.
If you don't have Northwest, go with Northwest. That's all I can say.
Just for fun, Dakota Sioux Casino. People are discovering the fun and excitement of Vegas just north of Watertown. Dakota Sioux Casino. Play real slot machines and hear real jackpots pile up. Discover the excitement of live poker and blackjack with the highest betting limit in South Dakota and free entertainment just for fun. Dakota Sioux Casino, Watertown, where fun is a sure bet.
Al Bahi, Mark Ovenden, and Derry Pearson from KELO TV at the arena tonight, enjoying the basketball.
We're name dropping here.
Just
Let's see if we
bit.
can find some other famous faces in the crowd.
I bet Bobby Lauer's here somewhere.
I'll bet.
8:48 to play first half. The Jacks leading St. Cloud 20-15. We are going to work right now with 2 officials after the one pulled up lane. Colin Capitan has gone to change in a phone booth that he can find real close, and he'll be out on the court.
I'll finish that thought. I really think 3 officials intimidate each other, and they have a hesitancy thinking that maybe, well, somebody else is going to call it. I better not blow my whistle.
So
Make
we'll have
sense?
2 for a while. It does make sense, and I think it happens from time to time.
It happened last night. I mean, there were very few calls. It was a very physical game with North Dakota.
Dino DeVita, baseline drive, threw the pass behind the back, but he also charged into Chris Counts, who held his position on the baseline. Offensive foul.
Don't force it, don't force it.
DeVita has played some very strong basketball. Freshman out of Milwaukee, and in this tournament anyway.
He had 14 in the first game.
For a backup point guard, he's done more than his share. Jacks have shot 42% from the floor over the first 10 minutes of the game.
DeVita is one of those 3 freshmen that Butch Raymond relies on very heavily.
Counts gives it right back to Notches. Baseline shot no good. Fight for the rebound is on. And a foul is called. I believe it's going to go against Ryan Notches.
Yep.
Huskies will play it in against that full court pressure by the Jacks. They look for back picks first and then try to get it in. In the corner, it goes to Sharnowski. Now to DeVita, looking to trap. Midcourt, Sharnowski brings it across. He'll pull it up and set an offense now. DeVita right side, Chris White on him. They set a stack on each side and then break out from there. Slapped away by Chris Counts, loose ball. Out of bounds, it'll go to St. Cloud State. Some good hustle. Who tells you that this third place game is important to these teams?
And that's a couple of big guys diving for the ball, too. I'm glad you're doing this game. I know I'd have called him Danny DeVito by now.
He just doesn't look like Danny DeVito.
Oh, not quite. But Dino DeVita, I mean, you know, everything is just the opposite.
The potential is there. Joel McDonald back in the game for St. Cloud State. And this is Dan Ward as well back in. Working on Troy Bauman out top. Down the lane as they clear it out. He dishes Sharnowski underneath. One fake goes up strong off glass and count it. 20-17. The Huskies back within 3.
Charnowski with 8 points has been a real key in the middle for St. Cloud so far.
Mitch Lane out top. Looking down low, looking left side. Decides to swing it. Chris White baseline. Mitch Lane from behind the CBA stripe off the back iron, too strong.
He just wants to see if he can make it from there.
I'm sure he can. He's got the range. Slapped away out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Cloud. See, now there, when the SDSU fans are booing, it's a sign of displeasure because Jeff Boer didn't have anything to do with it. And Jeff Boer checks back into the lineup for the Jackrabbits.
As does Leiferman.
Bounce pass inside. Charnowski, little jump hook, no good. Timmerman up strong to clear the boards. Bauman bringing it up left side. St. Cloud State in a man-to-man defense this time. They've switched back and forth between man-to-man and a 2-3 zone. Leiferman gets it out to the corner. Bauman won't take it inside Brad Timmerman, and the handcuff was put on down there by Greg Kesty. Foul is called.
Again, keep in mind as we watch this game the significance of the game, especially to St. Cloud. They have 19 wins, 10 losses. That 20-win mark is really considered to be what gets you in to the regional playoffs, especially because there's no other teams in the conference with that 20-win total. South Dakota State with 23-6, trying to wrap up that home court advantage for the regional.
Brad Timmerman hits the front end of the bonus, the 6'6 junior from Cuba City, Wisconsin. He led the state of Wisconsin in scoring as a junior in high school when he averaged 27 points a game. Timmerman can't get the roll on the second one. We had 4 bodies on the floor.
It looked like the domino effect there.
A little toe tangle, I think. Dan Ward got caught up in the air and I think just kind of threw that one up. Wanted a dish and couldn't find anybody, had to shoot it. He did hit the rim, but the Jacks come away with it. Out of the 1-4 offense, slapped away by Charnowski and stolen by St. Cloud State. Coming up the left side is Stuart Kramer. Gives it to Ward out top. Offensive set, they run that box and then they pick. Diagonally down, they go that time. Open in the corner is Greg Kesty. Gets that one, that's Chris Bodette, pardon me. Nice look inside that time by Dan Ward.
It's kind of bummed because they're staying at the Ramkota.
We'll leave the light on for you.
All right.
Troy Bauman out top. Chris White at the point. Inside it goes. Leiferman has it knocked away. Here comes St. Cloud State. Dan Ward breaks free into the lane. Dishes right side for 3 is McDonald. Off the iron. Stu Kramer saves it.
Nice save.
Give it back to Kesty. Bodette baseline. I'm confusing those two, but Bodette. And a timeout called by the Jackrabbits as they've now fallen into a tie. We'll be back with the NCC 8 on KELO TV.
For those interested in a Highline Japanese car, Audi offers an alternative, the all-new Audi 100 V6. The first German automobile designed to not only turn heads, but opinion as well. The all-new Audi 100 V6.
Test drive the all-new Audi 100 at Sioux Import in Sioux Falls.
When choosing the right insurance coverage for your home, auto, or farm, remember not all insurance companies measure up the same. You should be choosy. Millbank Insurance offers competitive rates, fast and fair claim service, and the stability and security of a 100-year tradition. Don't get caught short on your personal insurance. Choose Millbank Insurance. Call your independent agent and ask about Millbank Insurance, the company that really measures up.
Back at the Sioux Falls Arena, Colin Capitan has now changed clothes. He was helping us out at the scorer's table here, coordinating timeouts until about 5 or 6 minutes ago when one of the original referees pulled up lane. Cappy has put the stripes on. He always carries that whistle, he says, no matter where he goes. I think he just said he wanted to be on TV, too. He didn't want to be stuck behind the bench here all night. And Butch Raymond is working him already. Back to action. We're tied at 21, coming up on 5:15 to play. First half, St. Cloud State and SDSU for third place of the NCCA tournament. The Jacks with the ball, working now against the zone. Timmerman gives it left side to White. Down low, Chris counts, triple team, back to Chris White. Penetrates right side, pulls up, too strong. Boer's under there for the rebound, and he's got nowhere to go. St. Cloud State pulls away with it. Dan Ward working it.
Oh.
Should have been a double dribble, but nobody else saw it, and a three-pointer is good for Stuart Kramer, and the Huskies have pulled out to a three-point lead, 24-21. Huskies back to a man-to-man defense now as Chris Counts gives it up. Now to Bauman in the right corner. Counts at the stripe. Can't draw iron. Boer couldn't keep it in. It's St. Cloud State basketball as the Jacks have hit a bit of a cold spell here
they
late
were
in
up
the first
20,
half.
They were up 20-15, so they're in the midst of a 9-1 St. Cloud run right here, where the only point coming on a free throw by Brad Timmerman. It's been a while since they've scored, as a matter of fact.
Ward trapped in the corner, gets it back to Kesty at the middle.
Kind of like last night, Al. The Jacks started pretty quick. They were up 22-13 with 8 minutes to go in the half, and before you knew it, the game was tied at halftime, and UND had a great spurt to start the second half, and the game was over. They got close, but couldn't ever quite get back to tying the ball game up.
There's a three-point shot, not quite enough off the iron by Kessler. Jacks come away with up ahead to Brad Timmerman. Nice pass by Troy Bauman to see Timmerman ahead of the pack. Back to a one-point game. The Huskies couldn't quite get back on D that time, and Timmerman hustled down court to get the easy bucket. Should also point out Troy Bauman playing this game still on a very sore left ankle that he turned about a week and a half ago in a physical education class up at South Dakota State. He is not 100%. Kessler, right side, in and out. And the Jacks come away with the board. Timmerman is there. Bauman brings it up right side. Chris White to Chris Counts. Out top, Timmerman. Back to Bauman as they continue to look inside. The Jacks are being much more patient tonight than we've seen in a few games. Mitch Lane drives the lane, and a nice drive as he puts that up and in off the glass to put the Jacks back on top by one.
Boy, he is an exciting player. He's maybe the most exciting freshman in the league, the way he gets in there and plays. He is an offensive player, and I don't mean that in a negative term.
Inside, LaTroy Spann gets the easy lay-in after the penetration. A nice dish by Dan Ward. Go back to Mitch Lane for a minute. We asked Northern Colorado how they missed out on Mitch Lane, who just shot again, missed it. He wants to be an engineer, which is why he's going to South Dakota State University.
The story there is that he had a scholarship lined up at Colorado State. Their coach was relieved of his duties. The new coach didn't want Mitch. Mitch went looking for a school with engineering. Ended up walking on at South Dakota State saying, hey, coach. He sent him his tapes. He scored 50 points in one game in the state tournament last year. I think Jim was maybe a little impressed with that.
Just a little bit,
Just a little.
I know he's very glad to have him right now, along with all the rest of the players on his team that he's gotten some great production out of. Right side, shot is short. Battle for the board is on. Charnowski comes away with it. Thought better of putting it up, and they'll pull it out and reset the offense. 2 minutes to play first half. It's a one-point lead for the Huskies. The Jacks come away with a steal.
Nice kick save.
Bauman out top. In a man-to-man defense for St. Cloud. Timmerman. They'll let him shoot anything he wants from way out there. Left side, Mitch Lane. Bauman quickly in the corner. Nice drive to the glass as he goes strong baseline. That's one of his favorite moves when he gets over on a side like that. He'll go baseline because he can bank those in. As the Huskies brought the ball up court, Stuart Kramer was almost forced out of bounds. We had a push called on Mitch Lane for the foul. Minute and a half to play. The Jacks lead it by one.
In case you're wondering, many of the players, I think we're the official scorers. And yes, number 25 is checking into the game. I gave him permission. The foul is on Mitch Lane. And to finish the thought on Lane, gosh, he has just been a tremendous, you talk about a pleasant surprise. He's been more than a pleasant surprise. He's had 25 points, 9 rebounds in the 2 games, and he is not afraid to shoot the ball. He is not a freshman. He is, but he doesn't play like one.
Doesn't play like one, exactly right. Crowd wanted a 5-second call as Mitch Lane was playing some airtight defense that time. There's Dino DeVita with the basketball. Troy Bauman hassling him out top. He gives it up to Stuart Kramer. Now to Kessler, left side. Kramer. They're working the clock down. We're at 10 on the shot clock, under a minute to go, first half. DeVita takes it right side. Nobody picks him up on the baseline. Arching shot is blocked. Charnowski gets the ball and puts it back up and in. It sounded like somebody hit ball, but we also have a foul whistle. You'll count the bucket. And Charnowski will try to complete the three-point play.
The foul's on Chris White. Yep, take another look at it. Let's see. Yeah,
slap ball, he might have got an arm on the way down. He slap is when you get the call for it.
Been trying to teach the fourth graders that this year. Slap at the ball, whether you get it or not, they call a foul.
Here's a look at Charnowski from Plymouth, Minnesota, just a sophomore. Can't get the free throw. The Jacks will come down. Chris White, right side.
Hoggs, the leading rebounder in the tournament.
About a 1-second differential between the time clock and the shot clock. And right now we're at 30 on the shot clock. Chris White, right side. Look for the Jacks to hold it maybe for the last shot of the first half. Bauman with Dino DeVita. Brings him back out. They're waiting. They're going to run the clock down. They're at 15 seconds as Mitch Lane works it right side. Now Bauman. Chris White. Pull up Jay. Too strong off the iron. Mitch Lane is there. He can't get it to go. Slapped out of bounds. And will stay with the Jackrabbits.
That's a good call. It's still State's ball.
5.5 seconds to play in the first half. Mitch Lane will trigger it in. Now they decide to go to Chris White. Oh, it's going to be Troy Bauman.
One of them. Think White will get it?
I think that's who they'll be looking for. It's Mitch Lane driving off balance shot. No good, and that'll be the end of the first half as Counts couldn't get the shot away. We have played 20 minutes of the third place game at the NCC 8 tournament. St. Cloud State is leading SDSU 28-27. Don't go away. We've got more basketball coming up on KELO Sports.
Frying Pan means good food. Frying Pan gives you all you can eat for supper 7 nights a week. Thursday nights, get all you can eat hand-cut sirloin steak. Tuesday and Saturday nights, order all you can eat golden brown chicken or barbecued ribs. Wednesday nights are all you can eat special recipe chicken. Make Sunday special with all you can eat golden fried shrimp. Every night of the week, get all you can eat specials, only at Frying Pan, Yankton, Brookings, and 3 Sioux Falls locations.
With most insurance companies, you get a one-size-fits-all healthcare plan, which means you get and pay for all parts of the plan, whether you want them or not. But with Dakota Care Select, you get a healthcare plan that's specifically tailored for you. You select and pay for only the parts of the plan you want. And there are no strings and no claim form hassles. Which method of tailoring a healthcare plan looks better to you? Dakota Care Select. Isn't it time to take a look?
Earning the trust of the people around you takes hard work. You have to be dedicated, reliable, and most of all, you must have proven yourself in the past. At the 6 Hour Company, we're celebrating 100 years of proving ourselves to our customers. For the past century, we've been there for you, offering quality seeds from America's heartland. We're committed to you. At the 6 Hour Company, we've been planting a century of success.
We are back at the Sioux Falls Arena. It is halftime of the third place game of the NCCA tournament. St. Cloud State is leading South Dakota State by a score of 28-27. North Dakota and Northern Colorado coming up later for the NCC championship, and along with that championship was an automatic berth in the NCAA regional tournament. Mark Ovenden has taken a little leave of absence at the moment. He is down at the north end of the arena with Noel Olson, the commissioner of the North Central Conference, to talk about the season, talk about the regional tournament coming up next week, and how many teams the NCC just might get into that tournament. Mark?
Well, thanks, Al. And Noel Olson has been commissioner for several years, and there have been some changes since you've been here, which makes it a lot of fun. Let's talk about the change from the old holiday basketball tournament into the postseason tournament. Now it's finally the NCC 8 where it's all in one location. How do you feel about the progress Noel, to this point?
Of course, we all missed the holiday tournament. I mean, that was a great event, and I was against the change at the time, but I have to admit now that it's added a lot of excitement to the conference. What's happened is the teams have been able to pull for something, push for something, a chance to get into the playoffs maybe, and be in the NCAA playoffs later on. It's kept the games interesting right to the end, and I'm now a believer. And I'm especially a believer now that we have 8 teams at Sioux Falls. I think that's the best format.
You really feel that's made that much of a difference? And then next year, of course, it's here again, and it's 3 straight days, right?
3 straight days. They've assured me now that there will be 3 straight days, and that's what we really want, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then the fans can stay through the whole tournament if their team is winning. So we think that'll be the best format, add to the most excitement. This is the best place to play basketball. Everybody loves the arena. I even hear the coaches say they get a little tingle when they come in this place. It's a basketball arena.
Now what happens after next year? Will Fargo get the tournament for a couple of years to experiment?
Fargo will get it for a couple of years, Mark. The reason being that we'll be in conflict with the high school tournament. It just doesn't work, and they tried to, give us afternoon for a while, and they didn't like that format. And it really isn't good for us either. So it's better to take a couple years up there and then come back when there's some time in this arena.
Well, let's talk about the league this year. South Dakota State, of course, has pretty much guaranteed themselves a spot in the regional playoffs. Are their chances pretty solid for hosting? Because with the obvious advantage they've got at Frost Arena and the fact that they've got a good record, one would think so.
Obviously, I'm not on the committee this year. After 9 years of being the chair, I really don't know the answer, except that I would assume that they would have the best shot for it. They always bid high, and they have a great facility, and they do an excellent job of hosting tournaments. In fact, they hold the current NCAA record for an NCAA quarterfinal, which is 9,300 or plus. So it's a great place to have a tournament. So I feel fairly confident that they have a good shot at it, and I'm sure that they'll be in it. Obviously. It's kind of an interesting year. At one time we said we'll have a tough time getting 2, and now we think we might get 3. We don't really know how tough our league is this year. We know one thing for sure: it's well balanced, and I think it's pretty strong. It's a young league, but I really believe we have a good chance of getting 3 in, and I know Jack Doyle, who's the chair of the committee, feels that way too.
However, if State beats St. Cloud in this game, they're pretty much out of it, and of course if UND wins the second game, it's probably going to only be 2 because you only have 2 teams with 20 wins.
Well, 20 is not a magic number. That's hard to believe. Everybody thinks that's true. It's nice to have 20 wins because it usually indicates you've got a pretty strong record. I think USD has a chance to come back in if that scenario you mentioned would occur. But no one can say for sure. And I would say that probably Southern Colorado would be a very, very outside chance for the 4 spot. We don't think that there'll be anybody swinging in from outside regions taking the place of our region. We think that the regional concept is on full force, and we feel that we'll get 4 from our region.
That has happened in the past.
Well, very rare. And the last 3 years that we've had this regional concept in, we've only transferred 1 team into another region. Now, there's a difference between, like, say, if we had 3 in our region from the North Central Conference, we could take one of them and switch them with another region. That's not swinging them. What we're talking about when we swing them is we bring somebody into our region and take the place of one of our teams. But trading with somebody would mean we'd still have 4 teams from our region. So we've done that trading a lot, just so you don't have to play the same teams every game. They'll never trade more than 1. They'll only trade 1. And they'll try to avoid having 3 from 1 conference in a certain region.
Noel, I know it's your birthday here a couple days ago, so I won't tell anybody what it was. Happy 60th. Oh, did I squeeze that in there? I'm sorry.
That in there, and I don't mind because I'm just grateful to be here. And it's so much fun watching basketball like this. I mean, this is what I really enjoy. I couldn't have a birthday in a better place.
I'm going to let you gloat about all your sports. Women's hoops, you've got tremendous representation with the 2 North Dakota schools in Augustana and State this year. Football, of course, every year. The Bison are tough, but South Dakota State got right back in there this year. Mankato State beat the Bison in the playoffs. You got to be happy with the way things are going on. Of course, wrestling and on and on.
But it's really true. Last year we had 4 national champions, 2 by men and 2 by women. I always say it took us 60 years to figure out that what was good for men is good for women also. And in 10 years, they've reached a relative strength of the men and nationally, maybe even higher, because I think this part of the country does more for women's athletics than any part of the country. Title IX seems to have originated in the upper Midwest, and I think we do more for women's athletics than any other area.
One more question. Let's talk about the Sioux Falls Arena and the potential for bringing the Final Four here. There has been discussion over the last 10 years or so trying to get that away from Springfield. Is that something that we're privy to any more information to? Is it every 2 years or so they review that on the NCAA level?
It could be every 2 years, and it happens to be now. They've got a 2-year contract right now at Springfield. I believe this is a place where it could be very easily. I believe Fargo is a place where it could be very easily. But it's got to come from within the community. If I would start the groundswell, it wouldn't be fair because I'm the one that really would like to have it here, and everybody knows that I would be interested because of my obvious job and position, but and love for the game of basketball. But if the community wants it, I think they could get it if they really had put their effort forth. But it is not an easy task. First of all, you can't have a lot of empty seats. And secondly, you have to guarantee that the dates would be there. I mean, the NCAA doesn't. They don't want to debate whether the dates are available or not and things of that sort. So it might be a little difficult, but it would certainly be an ideal location.
Would the fact that the crowds have not been as strong as we certainly would have hoped here the last couple of nights and tonight hurt that?
Oh, it might. Yes, I'd have to admit it would, because with basketball of this caliber, you'd think that you'd have it no matter who's playing, especially in Division II country. You know, out in New England where you come from, where there's so many Division I teams and pro teams, you can understand why they might not turn out for Division II. But here, this is Division II country, and I feel that they're starting to trickle in here right now, and we've got our 2 furthest distance teams in the finals tonight.
Isn't that ironic?
That's about as ironic as it gets, especially when I had both South Dakota teams playing at night in the first round. They were the 1 and 2 seeds. You would have expected that we would have had something different, but of course, as the conference commissioner, I could only pull for all my teams.
No, you set it up. I mean, you set it up for a perfect finish,
I did.
and it just didn't work. So
well, and everybody knows that I want anybody to win, and I don't care who wins. But obviously, whenever we're in a time, when we're in Fargo next time, we'll put their teams at night also, and we'll try to set it up for what you call a perfect finish. But on the other hand, the teams decided on the floor, and that's what makes it great.
Okay, Noel, happy birthday. Thank you very much, and we certainly enjoy working with you.
Kelly.
We'll come back and have the second half of this third place game and also recap the stats of the first half right after this break.
You don't have to come into the bank, then you can just do it over the phone. That's handy.
At 10 o'clock when I'm trying to balance my checking account and I haven't written down a check and I need to call them to see if it cleared yet.
Not a thing. It comes right along with everything else.
And I know anything that I have a question on, they'll answer it for me.
When's the last time you really got something free? Tough one, isn't it? You probably paid somehow. Yeah, right. No such thing. Now take a look at these. A queen-size innerspring bed, queen-size soft-side waterbed, or wood-frame waveless waterbed. Now choose one. It's yours free from Water Bedroom.
Sweet.
Sweet deal, isn't it? You bet. Buy $1,000 or more of bedroom furniture, and Water Bedroom will give you a bed free. The sweet deal of Water Bedroom. What do you say? You're welcome.
2 for $92. Get 2 pair of eyeglasses. 2 pair of contacts. Or 1 pair of eyeglasses plus 1 pair of contacts for $92. Choose from our best value collection. Check out our 24-month limited warranty. 1-hour service. Best quality, best price, guaranteed.
Doing Optical's taking care of me. The word is on the street.
We're back at halftime of the third place game of the NCCA tournament. South Dakota State has just come back onto the floor. They trail at halftime, 28-27 to St. Cloud State University. You heard Mark Oben and Noel Olson talk about how women's athletics in the NCC has come on strong the last couple of years. A couple of big games as the women's teams finish up the regular season this weekend. Going on tonight right now at the Elman Center, Augustana has a halftime lead against North Dakota State University, 45-40. North Dakota State is ranked #1 in the country right now. I believe they have the conference championship locked up regardless of the outcome of that game, but Augustana is in second place. They had a 14-game win streak snapped last night by UND, but Augie leading at halftime against the #1 ranked team in the country. Augie comes into that game ranked #7 this week. Meanwhile, up in Brookings in the women's game, UND is leading South Dakota State by a score of 27-26. That is also a halftime score. And UND, NDSU, and Augustana's women's teams are all expected to be in regional postseason action, which will be next weekend. St. Cloud State has come back onto the floor. We have about 2.5 minutes before we're set to start with second half of play. And the first half statistics show some interesting numbers. As we take a look at those, your halftime stats from Dakota Care. Look at South Dakota State, 9 of 24 field goal shooting. Only 38% is what that translates into. Of those 9 field goals that they've made, 8 have been layups. They have only made 1 jump shot. That was by Brad Timmerman from the free throw line, a 15-footer. Otherwise, every basket that they have made has been has been layups. Another interesting factor is 0 for 5 from three-point land. The Jackrabbits are usually a better shooting team from behind the three-point stripe than they have shown in the first half. Meanwhile, you see St. Cloud State 13 of 28 for 46% in the first half. 2 of 5 on their three-point shots, but they have only stepped to the free throw line 1 time. The Jacks have been there 10. They've connected on 9 of those, and that's why we have a 1-point game right now. The free throws have kept the Jacks in this one. Rebounds fairly even. St. Cloud State with a 2-point edge in that one. Turnovers 5 and 7, so not a sloppy ball game by any means. Both teams playing well, with the exception of the SDSU shooting just 9 of 24. We're going to come back with the second half of action from the NCCA tournament on your KELO Land station.
It's down to the wire as the Skyforce closes in on the final playoff spot this Sunday afternoon. First 500 fans receive a squeeze bottle courtesy of Sirloin Stockade. Game time Sunday afternoon, 3:35.
From the dramatic scenes of the Badlands to the Great Sioux Nation to life along the Missouri River come the events that make up the colorful history of South Dakota. The W.H. Over State Museum is continuing its work on permanent exhibitions to showcase the state's oldest and largest collection. Friends of the W.H. Over State Museum are asking for your help in completing this ambitious project for future generations. Become a part of living history. Send your tax-free contributions to Friends of W.H. Over State Museum in Vermilion, South Dakota.
Can't be. It's here already? Yeah, March Madness at Prostrollo's All-American Auto Mall in Madison. March Madness means the competition better talk. March Madness. New S pickups from $7,900. Take a fully loaded 4x4 extended cab S pickup. Was over $21,000, now $14,900. Save over $6,300. Look out, March Madness. Loaded half-ton pickups from $15,900. Save almost $4,000. It's here already? Yeah, March Madness. From now till March 30th at Prostrollo's All-American Auto Mall in Madison.
Back at the Sioux Falls Arena, Al Bahi, along with my partner for the evening, at least anyway, Mark Ovenden.
And I'm glad to be back. I'm back.
So are the Huskies and the Jackrabbits, ready to start the second half of action. St. Cloud State with a 28-27 lead. The Jacks with the basketball, hoping to shoot a little better in the second half than their 9 of 24 performance in the first half. Again, 8 of those made field goals by the Jacks were for layups. Jacks start the second half the same way they started the game, and Leiferman starts the second half the same way he started the game, with a layup inside to put the Jacks back on top. Leiferman had 6 in the first half. He has 8 now, the leading scorer for South Dakota State.
And after talking to Noel at halftime, if you're a USD fan for the first time in your life, you're going to root for South Dakota State this half.
Exactly right, because they still have a chance for a bid to the postseason regional tournament. Huskies starting in the second half with their same lineup that they started the game with. Dan Ward out on top, gives it right side.
I'm not sure I agree with that, Al, but we'll see. Certainly St. Cloud with 19 wins, if they have 11 losses, would be out of it.
Right. Ward plays it in right in front of us at the scorer's table. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He pulls up from behind a three-point stripe off the rim. Bauman corrals it in the corner, looks up court, brings it up quickly. No break there. He gives it left side to Boer. Chris Counts pulls up as he goes right side. Maybe got an extra step in there, but he couldn't get the basket anyway. Leiferman saves it. In the corner, Jeff Boer fakes the three, drives baseline, gets a shot up.
He stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out of bounds.
1-4!
The Jacks will stay, of course, with their full court pressure. Didn't trap Ward in the corner. Hogg Sharnowski brings it up right side in front of the St. Cloud State bench. Ward will set the offense. The Jacks staying with their man-to-man defense. They've been in that the entire ball game. Charnowski working against Counts. Left side, Kessler pulls up and shoots. Not there. Board's cleared by Boer.
Both Kessler and White really need to heat it up here in the second half for their respective teams.
White's only 2 points in the first half came from the free throw line. He did not hit a field goal. He needs to get on track for the State Jackrabbits to get things rolling. The rest of the Jacks can pick up the slack and can play their consistent games, but they need a little more production out of Chris White this half. He's got the ball way out right side, now counts at the free throw line, drives left side, puts it up and in off the glass.
Nice drive. He didn't play much at all in the second half last night for some reason. He's really a key, steady performer for South Dakota State. And if Counts rings a bell, yep, his dad was Mel Counts, who played with the Lakers and Celtics.
That goes back to you old timers. Some of us young kids just had to learn that when Chris Counts came to South Dakota State last year. Not to date you or anything. Huskies missed a shot, come away with the offensive rebound.
You're a Laker fan. I thought you'd have known that.
I think I was just being born when Mel Counts played for the Lakers. Charnowski with a drive down the left side, lays it up and in. He hit for 10 in the first half, now has 12 on the game.
He's kind of hogging it out there. He's got 12.
Good one, Mark. Chris Counts looking to count 2 here. Ball was touched by St. Cloud State and saved by Ward. He brings it up on the run, all the way down the lane. Takes it himself, rolls it up, and can't get it to go. Here comes Jeff Boer back the other way. The pace starting to pick up here early in the second half. Boer underneath for the reverse, won't go. Charnowski is there. Back for the Huskies. Back in black, inside, nice pass. Is Greg Kesty taking it in for the layup. Dan Ward with the assist. Huskies go back up by 1.
Well, we got 2 subs coming in now as both Kramer and Bodette have told us they want to go in, and we said that's
There's
fine.
a steal out on top by Scott Springer, getting the steps down. A baby dunk, I'll call that. The Huskies go up by 3, 34-31, 16-20 to play in the ball game. The Jacks need to get a spark going right here. St. Cloud is back in their man-to-man defense. Bauman left wing. Now brings it back out on top. He's left open there, passes up the shot. Boer will take 3 in the corner. And the shooting problems continue for the Jackrabbits.
Really struggling. What, 8 layups out of their 9 baskets in the first half.
Charnowski underneath, goes up strong. Count it, says Colin Capitan. And a foul called as the Huskies starting to make a run here early in the second half.
There's another look at it. Great pass inside. Hog Charnowski. He got 14 points, and St. Cloud is on a roll here with a 36-31 lead.
Charnowski will go to the strike for a free throw.
Brad Timmerman now back in the game for South Dakota State.
He's a 70% shooter from the line, is Charnowski. We struggled a little bit to get that long name in on there, but squeezed those letters together and we got it done. Charnowski hits the free throw. It's a 5-point lead for St. Cloud State, and we'll be back on the NCCA tournament from the Sioux Falls Arena.
When you really need the right answer, ask Schoenemans.
What kind of wood do I use for decks?
How do you finish drywall? What nail do I use to install siding?
Do you deliver?
Trust Schoenemans for all the right answers. You don't have to be an expert. Schoenemans' knowledgeable staff offers sound advice for all your building projects. Have a question? Ask Schoenemans, the contractor's choice, the homemaker's friend. Schoenemans, where your dollar really buys more.
With most insurance companies, you get a one-size-fits-all health care plan, which means you get and pay for all parts of the plan, whether you want them or not. But with Dakota Care Select, you get a health care plan that's specifically tailored for you. You select and pay for only the parts of the plan you want. And there are no strings and no claim form hassles. Which method of tailoring a health care plan looks better to you? Dakota Care Select. Isn't it time to take a look?
Al Bahi, Mark Ovenden, St. Cloud State, and SDSU back with you from the Sioux Falls Arena. Second half of the NCCA third place game. St. Cloud has gone out to a 6-point lead, 37-31, as they've gone on a 9-2 run. That goes back to just the end of the first half. Butch Raymond has liked what he's seen.
You know, you talked about Chris White. He hasn't touched the ball that much.
He hasn't. And credit St. Cloud State with some of that for playing some good defense. They're denying him the pass, and when he does get the ball, he's 40 feet away from the basket and hasn't had much of a chance to get his shots away that he would normally get.
Sid Bostic could make that.
We'll hear more about those teams coming up at halftime of the championship game. Of course, the 1958 and 63 national championship teams from the North Central Conference. There was White shooting baseline, but it wasn't there. The Huskies come away with it. Ward on the run. Pulls up right side. Now goes inside to LaTroy Spann. Made a move to the basket. Went up strong and drew the foul.
Again, they've got about 4 big guys that they shuffle in and out of there, and they're very strong players. Spann did a tremendous job on the boards in last night's game, and again he goes in and gets hacked right across the forearm by Timmerman.
Well, Brad Timmerman got caught trying to get around to front that time on defense and didn't get the backside help in time, and Spann had the easy lane to the basket.
Ooh.
Bricked the first free throw.
A little harder, LaTroy.
There's a little flat going up. He's a 6'7" junior out of Chicago, averages just 3 points, 3 rebounds a game. But he is a big force inside. He'll make you change some shots and change some things. He missed them both, but the tip is up and in by Kester, Chris Beaudet.
Well, there's a break.
Jacks couldn't keep him off the board and got it tipped it up and in. White out top to Troy Bauman.
It's the biggest lead for St. Cloud.
Bauman almost has it stolen out on top by Ward. Now it's White, and look how far he is away from the basket. He's not had many chances in close. And those that he had have not fallen for him here tonight. Quick pass inside. Ryan Notch's fade away on the baseline. Can't draw it. It'll stay with the Jackrabbits.
St. Cloud bench is just really excited with the way they're playing right there. There's Colin Capitan back in the stripes. Started off on the bench with us helping out, but called to duty due to an injury.
10 seconds on the shot clock now for the Jacks. Bauman setting things up.
I don't know if they know that.
Down to 5. They need to get a shot up in a hurry. There's White.
Shoot
They're
it.
still 40 feet away. Bauman fires one up, short off the front iron, and they did not realize they get the rebound and set it back at 45. A break there for the Jackrabbits.
That's not a good sign at all.
Little lack of concentration at that time. Notches in the corner. Back to Bauman. Vanderwettering at the free throw line. Dishes underneath. Bauman with a nice hang move underneath. Can't get the basket, and Spann is there for the board. The Jacks are struggling. Ball knocked away by his own player. The Jacks come away with it. Here's Bauman left side. Leaves it in the middle. Vanderwettering can't get the handle on it. Goes up for the shot and is fouled. It wasn't a pretty break, but the Jacks will get a couple of free throws out of that one.
I think Beaudet's going to get that foul, number 51, but
Jacks have fallen behind by 8 points here, 39-31, 14:03 to go in the ball game.
They scored the first basket of the second half and have been outscored 11-2 since then. And Vanderwettering, again, we talked about that early in the game, had 20 points in the win over Morningside and was a key. Last night had only 6, and so far tonight has only 2.
Got the roll down, give him 3 now for the night.
As they look down the stats, nobody from South Dakota State is having an outstanding game. They need someone to step forward here. It's been Hawk Charnowski that's done the job for St.
Jacks
Cloud.
have 8 or 9 players that have scored points tonight. But I don't think it's in double figures yet. There's a pass inside. Chris Beaudet got loose for another layup.
It's their inside players, strangely enough, that are winning the game for them.
Back to a 9-point lead for St. Cloud State. Brad Timmerman. Notches. Chris White, right side, gives it up inside. Vanderwettering is fouled from behind. Beaudet trying to come around, slap the ball away. Picking up the personal foul.
Absolutely no doubt in my mind if St. Cloud was going to win this game, Dean Kessler had to have a great game. He's been very, very quiet. There's the over-the-back foul on Beaudet, who I'm not sure he was quite convinced it was a good call, but it was.
Neither Kessler nor Chris White, the 2 big scorers, have had a great night here so far.
Kessler with 5, White with only 2, and no field goals. That's incredible.
Chris White with the basketball. Mitch Lane in the corner, and a foul away from the basketball inside as bodies were banging. Will go against St. Cloud State.
I wonder if White has had a game in his 2 years at South Dakota State where he has not been in double figures. I bet he hasn't.
Ron Lenz would know the answer to that one.
Well, he's up at Frost Arena right now watching the women's game against the University of North Dakota. The Jackrabbits hoping to qualify for that postseason tournament.
Mitch Lane short on the three-pointer. Bodette with the rebound. Ward gives it right side. Kessler off glass, gets that one down. A nice fast break that time. A 3-on-2 by the Huskies. They have now gone up by 11, 43-32. The Jacks need some buckets. The crowd's starting to get into it to try to pick their team up. We're going to have a blocking foul called as Chris White started his move to the basket. Foul call on Stuart Kramer. Neither team in the bonus here yet, with still 13 minutes and 1 second to play.
The Jackrabbits look pretty flat to you.
A little bit. A little bit. They're not playing quite with the enthusiasm or energy that we have seen.
I really expected them to be pretty fired up, to want to go into this postseason tournament with a win under their belt.
It's the time of year when you want to have the momentum and things going your way and playing good basketball. You want to be loose going in, and they don't look loose right now. Notches, baseline drive left side, pulls up from 10 and gets the jumper down. A nice move by Ryan Notches. Maybe that'll get the Jacks going, but quickly back St. Cloud State is Kessler. And we have a charging foul called.
I thought he was going to call it on Vandewetering.
He went up and took a slap at the ball.
Butch can't, he says, oh, come on. You be the official.
Notches gets in there. Lane cuts in front. Vandewetering slaps the ball, and the charge is called on Kessler. Tough call to make. Either way, it's the third personal on Kessler. The Jacks down 9. Good pass inside. Mitch Lane underneath. It's not going to count. He had an extra step. He couldn't get a handle on the basketball underneath. A pretty move nonetheless, but couldn't handle the pass cleanly and got an extra step in there. St. Cloud brings it up against the press. Cross-court pass to Bodette. He'll bring it down the left side. Now wants to give it up. Can't find anybody. Ward comes over and says, I'll take it, big guy.
Ward, the freshman, averaging 8 assists per game.
There's Kessler going right side drive. Good help by Timmerman to cut him off baseline. Sharnowski open from 15. Faked and there was nobody there, and then decided, okay, I'll do this anyway.
He turned around and was shocked by the fact that there was nobody on him.
Mitch Lane, right side, goes baseline, up strong, doesn't count, and an offensive foul. They're calling Lane for lowering the shoulder. Offensive foul, Mitch Lane.
Pete Leifman comes back in.
And McDonald checking back in. We've got a timeout on the floor. You're watching the NCCA tournament on KELOLAND TV.
I bank here because it's good service, and I like good service.
And really willing to help, no matter how silly your question may seem at the time.
It's amazing how they, after just coming in a few times, they know who I am, and knowing that I'm bringing money in for my soccer team again.
Well, they're all my friends here because we've known them for all the years.
It's been said pursuit is strong, but what about foxtail and bigger pigweed? It's been said pursuit stands alone, but what about lamb's quarters and volunteer corn? It's been said pursuit is leader of the pack, but what is it really? The DuPont Total Post Program, flexible control that beats pursuit on these tough weeds and grasses, even in no-till, now at a competitive new price.
Back at the Sioux Falls Arena, third place game, 11:50 to play. The Jackrabbits of South Dakota State trailing St. Cloud 45-34.
And to this point, Al, you can tell which team has more on the line in this game. Which team wants to win it more. There's no doubt the Huskies are playing a more inspired basketball game.
It's been St. Cloud State all the way in the second half. The Jackrabbits may be feeling that they have a regional berth locked up and really don't necessarily have to win this game.
That's the way it looks.
Although I'm sure Jim Thorson would love to have a win going into that regional tournament next week. We'll see what happens in the final 11 minutes. There's still lots of time for the Jacks to get on track, although their shooting hasn't been extremely accurate for much of this ball game. Inside, Bodette has been strong. Couldn't get the turnaround. It rolls around again. And who's there for the tip-in but Scott Springer?
And you know, the Jackrabbits turned around to argue a foul while he just stood there and tipped it in. You can't do that. You got to keep going for the ball.
Leiferman with it left side. Notches falls down the lane. Mitch Lane, three-pointer from the left-hand corner. The Jacks need a spark. It would be nice if they could create some turnovers on this full-court press, but that hasn't happened much tonight either. Ward sets the offense for St. Cloud State. He's been the quarterback all night long. Dino DeVita's been in a couple of times. Pete Leiferman coming around from behind trying to slap the ball away is called for a foul.
That's one on Pete, who is a plant science major. By all rights, his last name really should be pronounced Leiferman.
Oh.
But it's not.
The Huskies played in. Ward out on top, has handed out 13 assists so far in this ball game. Springer inside, got caught. There was some slapping going on. We have a whistle and a foul call, and I think it'll be a two-point foul or two-shot foul called.
And actually, you know, Al, he could have more than that. He's had a couple of guys miss easy shots after great passes. Quite a young player. You know, you look at his numbers, Ward. He's averaging 5 points a game, shooting only 30% from the floor and 54% from the foul line. You think, come on. He is the floor general for Butch Raymond's team. He's done a great job. And Butch has had lots and lots of talent here in recent years, and he's never had more fun than he has this year with this group.
Springer misses the first free throw, and things have not improved for South Dakota State shooting from the field. They are now 12 of 36 for the game. They've dropped to 33%. They are 0 of 8 from three-point land. Before Mitch Lane hit that one just a moment ago.
Right.
That was their first three-pointer of the night.
Well, there's a break.
Springer missed them both. Van de Wettering pulls it down, and Chris White comes up to trigger the Jacks offense. Right side. Making his moves. Jeff Boer inside. Pete Leiferman. Quick move for a big guy inside. Can't get the roll. Tipped away. Boer comes back with it. He finally gets the roll down, and the Jacks maybe looking to pick up the pace a little bit, have started crashing the boards and showing a little more hustle. Are starting to play with a little more life. Chris White hassling. Dino DeVita out on top. He'd love to get a steal and a breakaway to get this crowd going tonight. Right corner, Sharnowski with Corey Van de Wettering right there in front of him. He'll bring it back out top. Jacks sticking to a man-to-man defense and playing it tough.
You know, you mentioned something, Al. The Huskies have really kept the crowd out of it.
There's Bodette, who has been a big part of that. He's hit some big shots coming off the bench.
Got 10 points.
And has played some strong basketball inside. Here's White, still looking for a field goal tonight. Notches from the point, drives left side. Cut off there by DeVita, or by McDonald, rather. Inside, Chris White in the lane. Gives it up. Van de Wettering goes up strong and is fouled by McDonald. Good pass inside as Chris White saw Van de Wettering cutting down the left side. Had an easy shot if it wouldn't have been for McDonald. Getting a hand in there to slap the ball away.
Another look at the foul here. Nice pass
look at the
by Chris
dish
White.
by Chris White to see Van de Wettering open there.
Foul's on Hogg, by the way, and that's 6 on the team. So from now on, State will go to the foul line on any whistle.
Van de Wettering goes to the stripe. The Jackrabbits still trailing by 10 right here with 9:29 to play in regulation. Third place game of the NCC 8.
Got to make the points when the clock isn't running.
Van de Wettering hits one.
The lead was 13. Right now it's 9.
Van de Wettering gets a pair. It's an 8-point lead now for St. Cloud State. Jackrabbits are hustling themselves back into this one, it seems, at the moment. Good trapping. Nice pass down low. Sharnowski strong to the glass. Count the basket and a foul on Van de Wettering.
Boy, is he having a game. Van de Wettering just shaking his head saying, doggone it. I couldn't get over there in time.
The Jacks were coming out to trap out top. Look at how wide open Sharnowski is on the baseline with two guys out trapping the ball. Van de Wettering couldn't get down quick enough. Sharnowski goes strong. Didn't look like much of a foul.
That's
Matter
the
of fact,
problem.
I couldn't see a touch.
No, I didn't see it either, but that's the problem with full court pressure. If they break it that quickly, you're dead.
You got to break, that's right. Charnowski adds to his point total with a 3-point play. Chris Counts checking into the lineup again for South Dakota State. They are back down by 10 now at 51-41. 52-41. It's 11 points after that free throw.
Putting Charnowski on my all-tournament team. He's got 20 points. And he was the leading rebounder in the tournament, starting tonight's games with 14 points, 16 rebounds.
Coming up on 9 minutes to play in the ball game. Chris White left side. Penetrates into the lane, gives it up. Chris Counts, throws it up and in. Count the basket. Strong move as Counts went to the glass and got pounded. Just kind of threw that one up there, got the bucket to go.
The basket counts.
Purely unintentional. The key to that again was Chris White penetrating and finding the open man on the backside. Charnowski moving in late as Chris Counts goes up with the shot off glass.
Chris is really playing a very unselfish game. Perhaps too unselfish. Although he had a man in his face, he couldn't have shot it there. There's a kick.
Kicked out of bounds by Vanderwetting, and it'll stay with St. Cloud State. So while Chris White has not been racking up the points as far as that goes, he has been helping getting his teammates either to the free throw line or getting them baskets underneath.
Yep.
Which is part of the reason why he was voted the NCC's most valuable player this year. McDonald brings it down the right side. Jeff Boer right with him. Now it's DeVita. Right side and then inside. Bodette is there again. Vanderwetting half a step slow to get back down. It's back to a 10-point lead for St. Cloud State.
Again, it's those
Chris
inside
White
guys.
says he's ready to start going here. Misses the shot, chases down his own rebound. Mitch Lane takes it right side. Vanderwetting inside Mitch Lane, and he is pushed as the pass was coming in.
Well, they're lucky that that foul's on Kramer. Charnowski just picked up 2 quick ones. He's got 3, and he's been the key to the game. They certainly don't want him to have to sit out with foul trouble. However, the foul was on Stuart Kramer.
Dino DeVita will take a seat for St. Cloud State as you see Dan Ward back in the lineup.
Keep in mind, State with the bonus for the rest of the game, and once you get to 10, then you get 2 shots instead of the 1 and 1. And that's 8 fouls on St. Cloud this half.
Mitch Lane gets the front end of the bonus, a 71% free throw shooter.
He's going to be a player.
He
for
already
4
is
years.
a player.
Yep. Watch out for this young man. 50 points in 1 state tournament game in Colorado last spring.
He got them both, but here come the Huskies breaking the press. Charnowski says, let's pull it up here, set the offense. Dan Ward wants play number 3. Goes right side McDonald, looking inside for the back pick. Drives baseline, throws it up an off-balance shot and got it down. A hanging leaner by the freshman. Chris White, now Chris Counts. Jeff Boer right side. Got caught up in the air, couldn't dish it away. Here come the Huskies, Ward. It's a 4-on-2 break. McDonald right side with the lay-in.
That hurts twice as much for State fans.
The Jacks looked a little bit confused as far as their offense that time. They had 3 players tangled up on the right wing and couldn't get an offensive set going. Here's Boer right side. Inside to Leiferman. He's looking, still looking, still looking. Out to Counts. Jeff Boer back to Leiferman. Baseline spin inside and a blocking foul called on Bodette. The Jacks continue to pound inside.
And they're a good outside shooting team. Last night, the same
Until
thing.
tonight. They haven't hit a lot of outside shots tonight.
They still haven't taken all that many.
That's exactly true. Part of the reason is they've been working the ball inside, as evidenced by that first half. We said 8 of their 9 made field goals came on layups.
McDonald checks out, and again, he's contributed here in the second half with 2 baskets. I think a lot of South Dakota State fans assume that the all-time leading scorer in Minnesota, Joel McDonald, 3,500 points, would be another Jackrabbit, along with Tommy and Paul and her sister. Never really heavily recruited by Jim Thorson. Actually, I think Augustana paid more attention to him than South Dakota State.
Leiferman missed the front end of his bonus. We have hit the 7-minute mark of this ball game. St. Cloud leads it by a dozen. Ward out top, right side. It's Kessler, gives it up. Inside turnaround, Kesty no good. Rebound is taken by St. Cloud, and they'll reset.
Yeah, and I'd get that clock down to 10 seconds before I think about shooting here. Of course, I'm not Dan Ward.
Obviously wasn't listening, and they get another offensive rebound. The Jacks are being hurt. Butch Raymond wants him to back it out, take some time off the clock. This time, Kramer to Kessler. Kessler drives to the free throw line, spins, comes back, no shot there as Boer playing a defense, going after the steal. And it's called for the foul. Boer thought he had it pretty clean, and it actually looked pretty good from here.
And that's the bonus. That's 7 fouls on South Dakota State this half. And we've got a timeout with 6:17 to go in the game. It looks like St. Cloud might have a shot at the playoffs. They're up by a dozen.
For those interested in a Highline Japanese car, Audi offers an alternative, the all-new Audi 100 V6. The first German automobile designed to not only turn heads, but opinion as well. The all-new Audi 100 V6.
Test drive the all-new Audi 100 at Sioux Import in Sioux Falls.
In the early days, Millbank Insurance provided protection to area farmers and rural customers. And as the needs of its clients changed, so did Millbank Insurance. Growing from a small company to one of the top personal lines providers in the state, Millbank Insurance is celebrating 100 years of service. Millbank Insurance is financially strong, offers competitive premiums and coverages, and is committed to stable, secure growth. Millbank Insurance, your friend for 100 years and for years to come.
Albahi Mark Ovenden back at the Sioux Falls Arena. Third place game of the NCCA tournament. St. Cloud State with a 12-point lead over SDSU. 6:17 on the clock. And at the free throw line for St. Cloud State is Greg Kesty, 77% free throw shooter, a junior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Home of the Minnesota Vikings.
We're not going to talk about them, are we?
Nope.
Okay.
Just to mention that they're based in Eden Prairie, hometown of Greg Kesty. St. Cloud State, a three-point shot.
Oh, man.
Count that one by Stuart Kramer, and the lead has gone to 15 for the Huskies.
He's got 2 baskets. They're both three-pointers. That was a backbreaker right there.
Leiferman driving baseline. That's where he goes. Spann gets up for the block, and here come the Huskies. 2-on-2. It's Kessler. Pulls it back out. 10-foot jumper. Not there. Rebound to St. Cloud.
Told you, they want this game worse.
There's Kramer again. 3 is in and out there for the board. Kesty not there. Bauman came up from behind. May have something to do with missing that shot. Chris White. Driving right baseline, goes up with a shot. And a foul called on the drive as Chris White made a move to the hole.
Jacks only have 18 points this half in 15 minutes and had only 28 points the entire first half.
White will be at the stripe for a bonus situation here. Number 33, there's the freshman Joel McDonald from St. Cloud State.
They continually move those players in and out to keep them fresh.
Chris White still with only 2 points in this ball game tonight. He came in the first half right where he is now, the free throw stripe.
Who would ever have thought he would have no field goals with 5 minutes left in the game?
He hits them both. The Jacks still trail by 14, 61-47.
I think they forgot to add. There we go.
61-48. They just tacked it up. Ball slapped away by the Jacks. They come up with a steal. They had White at half court, but Boer had other things in his face and couldn't see him at the time. Bauman brings it up. He's all alone. 15-footer. Too strong. Ward comes away with the board. Here come the Huskies. Up pass. Kesty leaves it back. And now they'll set an offense. McDonald, baseline, goes to the glass. and drew the foul on Chris Counts. Good body move.
The one thing they've said about McDonald, he's not real fast. He's not fast enough, doesn't have enough foot speed to be a Division I player, but he is so mechanically sound and smart. He's a Larry Bird type player, gets the most out of his ability, and you saw that right there. He blocked himself away from the defensive player where he had to get fouled. And you talk about a free throw shooter. This kid's probably shot 10 million free throws in his life. He is smooth, 90%, and he's the same every single time, which is the key to free throw shooting.
Chris Counts forced him to change his shot as he drove to the glass. Trying to decide if it's yes, it is a two-shot foul.
Well, I would think so.
Somebody had it in their mind that it was a bonus free throw.
Played for his dad. You may know the story. His dad's won, what, over 600? I will put the whammy on him. His dad has won over, what, 600 games?
Look at how he had to change his shot there as he moved into Chris Counts and still was able to throw the ball up and try to get that desperation shot to go. He got 1 out of 2. And the Jacks, trailing by 14, push it back in a hurry. There's Chris White, right side. Boer from the top of the key for 3. And the Jacks shooting is living up to the name of their home arena. It's frosty tonight.
Oh. It's got to be about 30% at this point.
Foul in the backcourt.
This is really not, again, I hate to harp on it, Al, but this is just not the way you want to go in to that regional tournament off this kind of a game.
This is not a South Dakota State typical basketball game. Anybody who's followed them this year and has watched them play knows that they play much better basketball than what they're showing here tonight.
It is not a
3 to play.
It is not a two-shot foul. It should be a one-on-one because that's the 9th team foul. They just signaled a two-shot foul. It's not 2 automatically until you get to 10. Unless the scoreboard's wrong. Notch's back in. Jim Thorson says, hey, come on, guys. The game ain't over yet. 4:33 to go, but it's going to take one incredible comeback.
Ward hits the first free throw. And now he'll get the second that they...
Doesn't matter now.
That's right. 63-48.
His first point, but he has got 64. A bundle of assists.
Bauman brings it across. The Jacks down by 16, 64-48. Chris White, three-point shot. Still no goal for Chris White. Timmerman had the ball down low and was basically mugged by Chris Beaudet on the baseline.
That's 4 fouls on Beaudet. Well, they got him at 3. Off the bench, he's got a dozen points.
Timmerman connects on the first free throw. Not there on the second one, but Chris White gets the rebound, fade away. You can see bodies falling right into us there. Here comes Notches, gives it up baseline. Van strong to the glass. And the call is?
I hope he's okay.
He went down hard. Not sure about an ankle or a knee.
That's Beaudet's 4th. And Kesty will come back in for Beaudet with 4 minutes to go, and it's a 15-point lead for the Huskies.
Strong move to the glass that time by Van de Wettering. Here's the big step as he goes up. You see Beaudet pound him.
Well, he got sandwiched, too. I think that was the bad part about it. The fact
Charnowski on the other end of that sandwich.
Charnowski may have gotten the worst end of that deal.
4:02 to play. The Jacks have now hit the 50-point mark with that free throw by Corey Van de Wettering. They still trail by 14.
Well, the three-point shot is what enables a team to be able to make a big comeback like this, but somebody's going to have to start taking them and making them.
We'll be back to the NCC 8 right after this.
Hard work, dedication. Your local Ford dealer salutes America's best. It's gold medal month with award-winning deals on America's best-selling cars. like the all-new Ford Escort, Design News Magazine's best car value under $10,000. Right now, get 2.9 financing for 48 months or up to $750 cash back. Add big option package savings and you've got America's best-selling small car. Go for the gold. See your local Ford dealer now.
The day I introduced KFC Skin-Free Crispy Chicken, a UFO was sighted.
They came to save the planet.
Came to melt our brains. I think they came to try the KFC Variety Bucket for just $9.99, featuring my juicy new Skin-Free Crispy with original recipe and tangy hot wings. It's a theory.
They came to save the planet.
Melt our brains.
They came to save the
Get 3 kinds of chicken, including new Skin-Free Crispy in a Variety Bucket, just $9.99 in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
Back at the Sioux Falls Arena, 4:02 to play. St. Cloud State leading SDSU 64-51 in this third place game. During that timeout, Butch Raymond telling his St. Cloud State team to not let down.
Yep.
Keep the concentration, keep the intensity up, because the Jacks are an explosive enough team that could make a run at a 13-point lead in a big hurry with some of the three-point shooters they've got. And all it takes is to make a spurt, and they could be right back in this one as we come down to the final minutes. Trapping in the backcourt.
Boy, have they done a marvelous job of breaking the pressure, huh?
Ward has done a real good job of handling the ball and getting it to the right people to get it across the timeline. In the corner is McDonald. Now he brings it back out on top.
Working on the shot clock. Running some time off the clock.
Ward and Bauman dancing out top inside on the baseline. It's Kramer. Now McDonald. Kesty at the point. Shot clock is down to 10 for St. Cloud State. Now they'll look to get a shot up. Knocked away. Ward left side takes it all the way to the baseline to the glass. Sharnowski is underneath, and I think he walked.
He did, and he had a wide open layup, Al. That was kind of unfortunate for Hogg, but a big break for South Dakota State.
He tried to go underneath for a reverse layup. And the Jacks come back.
Big break for State.
Minus about 42 seconds with 3:15 to play. They need to make a run starting right now. Timmerman back to Notches for 3 outside. Count it. Jacks within 10.
3 minutes.
Plenty of time for the Jacks if they can keep hitting like that. They have had problems, though, until this point of the ball game from three-point land. Ward is out on top. Bauman is right with him. Takes it down to the right side on the baseline, and he stepped out of bounds.
Oh, another break for the Jacks.
And they can cut the lead to single digits. A timeout, says Butch Raymond. We'll come back as the Jacks are making a run at third place in the NCCA tournament on KELOLAND TV.
There's no charges. When I write, I can write as many checks as I want. There's no charge.
So the fact that it's absolutely free is wonderful.
Easy to balance my checkbook because there's no extra charges and things like that.
It's free, money-wise, and free worry-wise.
I see them in here and they help me in here, and then when I go out of the bank and I meet them on the street or in the grocery store, they still say hi to me and they still make me feel like I'm an important person.
2 for $92. Get 2 pair of eyeglasses. 2 pair of contacts. Or 1 pair of eyeglasses plus 1 pair of contacts for $92. Choose from our best value collection. Check out our 24-month limited warranty. 1 hour service. Best quality, best price, guaranteed.
Doing opticals, taking care of me.
Back at the arena, here's the turnover that gives the Jackrabbits a chance to get back within single digits right here. The baseline drive right there. You see that black tennis shoe on the white line out of bounds. And the Jacks bring it up, trailing by 10, 2:45 to play in the ball game. Bauman out on top. The Huskies have stayed mainly with a man-to-man defense in the second half. They switched back and forth in the first. Chris White out on top. Almost lost the ball. Now he takes it left side down to the baseline. Off-balance jumper, still won't go, but he's going to get some more free throws.
Good move by White. He forced Ward into fouling him.
But he created something that time down. They had the ISO set up for him on the left side. He couldn't get to the glass as they had some defensive help come from the backside. But White is back at the stripe. He's 4 for 4 there tonight.
And that's his only points, if you can believe it.
Tough night shooting for Chris White.
Kessler back in. And he's been held in check, has only 7 points, and he's their 20-point-per-game man.
And you know who's been also held quietly late in the second half has been Hog Charnowski.
Yeah.
Jacks defense have kind of shut him down a little bit.
He hasn't scored in a while, but he still has 20.
The Jacks are back with the win 8.
Yep. They got a chance. They were down 15 just a couple of minutes ago.
Let's see if their defense can work it and get them another shot to get back in this one even closer.
They'll run the shot clock down
McDonald,
to about 10.
left side, notches all the way to the glass. McDonald. Shot was blocked from behind, but foul called on Corey Vanderwetting as McDonald went to the glass that time.
He had to take that. They gave him the layup.
Wide open layup otherwise.
Wide open lane to the
fights
hoop.
his way. Look at him fight his way over Hog Charnowski to prevent the wide open layup. Make him shoot the free throws.
4 fouls on Corey. McDonald, a 90% free throw shooter.
3 of 4 from the stripe tonight. Or 2 of 3, I should say. He's got one more coming here. A 10-point lead for St. Cloud State with 2:10 to go in the ball game. Bauman likes to save time as he lets the ball come all the way up the half court before he picks it up. Chris White. That's a three-pointer. His first bucket of the night.
Boy, they needed that.
Big boost for the Jacks as they trap on the baseline, and a foul called as they had a steal otherwise. Bowen and Timmerman were right there to jump on the trap. Perfect.
But that's the guy to foul. Ward is not a good shooter. Foul him every time he gets the ball here.
Look at the trap right here on the baseline. Ward has no place to go. He's jumping out of bounds. He tries to throw the ball back in.
That's too bad. He grabbed him on the arm.
Bowen is called for the foul, and Ward will be at the stripe. He is a 54% free throw shooter.
And he's a freshman. And it's a key situation for St. Cloud.
It's a 7-point lead for St. Cloud. We have 1:58 to play. He got the first one. That's a big one.
That's pressured. Wow. Nothing to it.
Got them both. Still a 9-point lead now. And traveling called is Bauman. And look at him come up limping. That left ankle is still bothering him as Ward came up and forced that turnover. Smart play by Dan Ward.
Mitch Lane back in for South Dakota State. Thought he might be in a little sooner than this because of his three-point ability, but of course Bauman has
came
been
up
around a
that
little longer.
time, and I think that's why Thorson sat him down. That ankle was a little tender right there, and you want somebody in who's ready to go right now and not trying to avoid pain. We know Bauman's been playing with that all night the way it is, but it got a little worse that time. Chris White with a steal out on top.
Right in front of our face.
And the foul is called on White. And that was touchy.
He has got such quick hands.
That's what made that steal.
Well, they got to go for those.
That one again if we could. Absolutely, they have to create something right now with 1:42 to play. You try to create any opportunity you can to score, and that's what Chris White was doing. Ward misses the free throw.
Still a 9-point lead. That's an awful long way to come back with 1:42 to go.
But if White would have gotten that steal and a breakaway dunk, you would have heard this place bust up a little bit. Ward got the second one. 1:42 to play. We'll be back.
Watch this. Who called time?
With most insurance companies, you get a one-size-fits-all health care plan, which means you get and pay for all parts of the plan, whether you want them or not. But with Dakota Care Select, you get a health care plan that's specifically tailored for you. You select and pay for only the parts of the plan you want. And there are no strings and no claim form hassles. Which method of tailoring a health care plan looks better to you? Dakota Care Select. Isn't it time to take a look?
It can't be. It's here already? Yeah, March Madness. At Prostrollo's All-American Auto Mall in Madison. March Madness means the competition better talk. March Madness. New S pickups from $7,900. Take a fully loaded 4x4 extended cab S pickup. Was over $21,000, now $14,900. Save over $6,300. Look out, March Madness. Loaded half-ton pickups from $15,900. Save almost $4,000. It's here already? Yeah, March Madness. From now till March 30th. At Prostrollo's All-American Auto Mall in Madison.
The Jacks looking to go on an 11-0 run to finish this one as they trail by 10.
Yeah. Or 13-2 or 15-4. The key element is 11.
They've got 1:42 to do it. They trail by 10 in the third-place game of the NCC8 tournament. St. Cloud State will have the basketball as we come back to live action. Excuse me, the Jacks will have the ball. The Huskies just hit a couple of free throws. Mitch Lane brings it up right side. He's hit a couple of threes here tonight. And Chris White hit a three a couple minutes ago, drives into the lane. Nice jump shot as he was also trying to draw the foul there. Long pass down court, wide open, McDonald. The lay-in is there as McDonald got behind the Jacks press.
They can't trade hoops here. Only 1:15 to go.
Notches for three. Count it. Timeout called by Chris White as the Jacks have cut back into the lead. 1:10 to play in the ball game. It is 71-64. St. Cloud State has it.
Right now, Notches has the field. He wants the ball, and he's made 2 3-pointers, and White somehow has gotten himself to double figures with 11 points. But again, the first 6 of those were free throws. Just made a 3-pointer and a 2-pointer, but it's tough. St. Cloud has the ball. State's going to have to foul. It's one of those foul them right away, hope they miss type situations. Try to trade off a 3 for a 1, a 3 for a 1, and eventually work your way back in the game. With that 45-second shot clock, you have to foul them right away. Too often when you're watching a game, it's so irritating to sit and watch a game and see a team not go ahead and do it. And the key is, who do you foul? You don't foul McDonald. He's a 90% free throw shooter. You think you should foul Ward, but by golly, he's 5 for 6 in the foul line. You figure maybe he should miss at this point, but they've got Kessler and Ward. Kessler's not a guy to foul. He's a 90% free throw shooter. Jacks are in a kind of a dilemma here, Al.
Well, with a full court press, too, the first thing they're trying to do is get a steal. If they can't do that, they'll foul trying to get the steal. Because if they can get away with it, there's the foul on Chris White in the backcourt, and that's Dan Ward who will go to the stripe.
He's the guy you got to foul. He's a 54% free throw shooter for the year. If he makes them both, fine. He earned it.
That's right. 1:08 to play. It's a 7-point lead for St. Cloud State. In the last couple of minutes here of this game that we've seen, the Jackrabbits have started playing the basketball that we have expected them to play all night. They've gotten into a rhythm. They really didn't seem to get into a flow until about the 4-minute mark of this game. Ward sinks the first free throw.
You know, I don't know who's the MVP of this game, Ward or Chernowski, because Ward's got about 18, 19 assists. And he's made the key free throws down the stretch. 7 of 8, and he's 54% for the year. I mean, that's clutch.
Lane brings it up right side. The Jacks offense looking for 3-point shots now. There's Notches. Hit 2, that one's too strong. Kessler chases it down, and Notches fouls him in the backcourt.
And he's automatic.
Just under a minute to play, and we'll come down to the other end of the court. Kessler will try to add to his point total and try to help seal this game, although the Jackrabbits, you hit a couple of threes. It's really fun to see a miracle tonight.
I don't think so. This really makes the plot thicker, too, in terms of who's going to make the regional tournament next weekend.
Absolutely. As we've mentioned earlier, South Dakota State is at least 90-95% sure of getting that postseason spot.
Okay, here's a scenario for you. What happens if Northern Colorado wins the next game?
Well, Northern Colorado is automatically in.
North Dakota's got 21 wins. South Dakota State's got 23, and these guys have 20. Then you really got an interesting situation.
The Jacks come down. White fires up the 3. Not there, and as we crash the boards again, Van de Wettering fouling over the top.
Fouled out.
That should be it for Corey.
Yep.
75-64, St. Cloud by 11 with 49.5 seconds to play.
And he knows it. He's just kind of delaying the inevitable of having to sit down.
Here's the foul again as the 3-pointer was a little short from Chris White that time. St. Cloud did a good job of getting inside position for it. And Van de Wettering over the top picks up his 5th.
Timmerman actually shoved before the foul on Van de Wettering. Jim says, hey, nice game. We just didn't have it tonight, guys. You know, the Jacks we said it earlier in the game, they just looked flat for about, what, 35 minutes?
Yep. But I'll guarantee you they won't be flat next weekend in that regional tournament.
The Jackrabbits are a great team to watch.
Especially
play
if they get a chance to host that regional tournament on their home court. You get 8,000 Jackrabbit fans in there.
I'm being presumptuous.
Guarantee you they won't play like this.
But I think they still will host. I really, honestly think they will, because the NCAA considers both record, they consider attendance. They want to make money on the deal. Jackrabbits will pack Frost Arena, and
they'll
what a
make it
fun
in
place
Brookings.
to play.
Absolutely. Mitch Lane, a long three, too strong. Notches rebounds. He'll fire a three. Tip in, won't go. The Huskies come away with it.
I bet the
30 seconds to play.
But they wish we didn't have mics on the rims, because there have been a lot of thunks tonight. You know?
Yeah. They're going to run it out. The shot clock is off. 20 seconds. St. Cloud State.
Fouls on Dana.
Will walk away with this win. 18.2 seconds, an 11-point lead for St. Cloud State.
And I give them a lot of credit, because they were so disappointed when they lost last night to Northern Colorado. I mean, terribly disappointed. And they've turned around, and they really played a very good game tonight, Al. Give them credit. State was kind of flat, but whose fault was that? You know, Butch Raymond said before the game tonight, he says, well, we sure didn't shoot very well, but I guess you got to give Northern Colorado credit for that. Well, I think we should give South Dakota State should give St. Cloud State credit for the way things turned out here tonight.
Well, you also mentioned it earlier that you could tell that there was more on the line in this game for St. Cloud State than there was for SDSU.
Oh, how about this? The Augie women beat North Dakota State 87-83. Top-rated team in the country, yes. Darn it, they blew an 18-point lead at halftime last night, or they would have won the lead.
They would have won the conference.
Oh.
Still a great year for the Augie women.
Well, they're off to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And South Dakota State could be, if they hang on to beat UND. They could be.
Free throws are both in.
McDonald had a great second half, Al. No points at halftime. 11 points in the second half for McDonald.
The Jacks bring it down for the final 14 seconds. Notches. Dana, he'll try the three. Rolls in and out. That's been the story of the night for the Jacks. Lane will get one last shot at it. Maybe not. Sharnowski with the steal, and your final score, St. Cloud State takes the third place game 77-64 over South Dakota State University. And it will be interesting on Sunday when the pairings come out and the at-large bids come out for the NCC Regional Tournament. We're expecting it'll be held up in Brookings next weekend. As of right now, we don't know for sure who will be there. But we know for sure it'll be either North Dakota or Northern Colorado, depending on the outcome of the championship game coming up a little bit later. Again, your final score from this third place game, St. Cloud State 77, SDSU 64. Right now, we'll take a break. Go back to the studios for an update on news, weather, and sports in KELOLAND, and we'll come back here in a couple of minutes for championship night of the NCC 8 postseason tournament. You're watching it on KELOLAND TV.
Farmers Market is going mad. During the March Madness clearance sale, save as much as 40% off on thousands of yards of fine quality carpeting, hundreds of room-size remnants, hardwoods, vinyls, and more. Farmers Market Carpet Warehouse beats down the price for the best savings around. Remember, save up to 40% now on name brand carpeting and floor coverings for your home. For complete customer satisfaction and the best prices around, shop the March Madness clearance sale going on now at Farmers Market Carpet Warehouse, Sioux Falls.
Because it's free, yes. Just the fact that it's free. I can write as many checks as I want per month, and it's free.
No minimum balance.
It's free. Oh, it's 100% free.
It was just what they said it was going to be. Free.
Give him a hand. Turning over a new leaf. Pumping iron. His cup runneth over. The sky's the limit. You haul. Dakota Sioux Casino, Watertown, where fun is a sure bet.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Hope you're enjoying our KELOLAND sports coverage of the NCC 8 tournament.
The championship game is coming up in just a moment, but first, a look what's making news this Saturday night.
The cleanup has begun in Mitchell, where a fire has leveled a downtown building which was home to 38 people. The blaze broke out about 8 o'clock last night in the Lawler building. Firefighters say they were very lucky no one was hurt. A downstairs bar was crowded at the time and dozens of people were at home in upstairs apartments. Firefighters say the blaze quickly spread out of control.
They went fast. Once they got started, the west side went.
And all of a sudden the roof just went up, in flames. There's probably shooting 25, 30 feet high.
2 firefighters also managed to escape injury after a ceiling collapsed on them. The owner of the building tells us he's working to find new apartments for all his tenants. Meanwhile, people are staying in hotels.
Also in Mitchell, the search is on for children exposed to toxic chemicals. Authorities there have found a shed containing more than 40 chemicals, including arsenic and pesticides. The shed is on land where children often play. Mitchell police want parents to check with their doctor if they think their children played near the chemicals found on property formerly owned by the Disco Seed Company.
Good news for Sioux Falls Public Library users. Another branch will be coming your way next year. The new branch will help ease the overcrowding at the downtown library and at the KELO branch in southern Sioux Falls. Usage has increased by 10% each of the past 3 years, with subscriptions reaching 1.8 million last year. The city also plans to expand the parking lot at the KELO branch to accommodate more cars. Well, stay with us. Dave Hahn will have your chilly forecast.
And Tom Neiman will update you on scores from across the country when we come back.
Hard work. Dedication. Your local Ford dealer salutes America's best. It's Gold Medal Month with award-winning deals on America's best-selling trucks. Like the special value Ford Explorer Sport. You get air conditioning, push-button four-wheel drive, premium stereo with cassette, power windows and locks, speed control, and more, all at no extra charge. That's total savings over $1,900. Go for the gold. See your local Ford dealer now.
With most insurance companies, you get a one-size-fits-all health care plan, which means you get and pay for all parts of the plan, whether you want them or not. But with Dakota Care Select, you get a health care plan that's specifically tailored for you. You select and pay for only the parts of the plan you want. And there are no strings and no claim form hassles. Which method of tailoring a health care plan looks better to you? Dakota Care Select. Isn't it time to take a look?
2 for $92. Get 2 pair of eyeglasses. 2 pair of contacts. Or 1 pair of eyeglasses plus 1 pair of contacts for $92. Choose from our best value collection. Check out our 24-month limited warranty. 1-hour service. Best quality, best price, guaranteed.
Doing Opticals, taking care of me.
Winter weather is coming back to KELO. We have a storm moving out of Canada. Not much for chances of precipitation tonight, but by tomorrow we're going to see it coming across KELO. Rain in front, changing to snow in back. Temperatures are also going to drop down with this. Not going to see it so much tonight. Going to be fairly mild in the 30s across KELO, but by tomorrow our highs are definitely going to reflect the change in the weather systems. Only the 30s in the north, still hit the 50s down in the southeast. Look at the forecast right now. Starting with tonight, increasing clouds in the west. Partly cloudy in the east, southeast winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Low of 38 in Sioux Falls, 35 in Aberdeen, 35 in Rapid City. Tomorrow, snow in the northwest, rain changing to snow as the system moves from the northwest to the southeast. High of 52 in Sioux Falls, 45 in Aberdeen, 42 in Rapid City. And quickly, the 5-day forecast. Snow will continue through Monday, then by Tuesday things will start to dry up, and we're also going to start climbing back from those colder temperatures, and by the weekend, it'll look pretty good again.
We're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Dave. And we'll have a look at sports.
Yeah, there's other things going on around.
Other things going on besides the basketball games tonight. Yeah. Biggest night of the season and night of the year in volleyball up in Huron. The state volleyball tournaments wrap up tonight at the Huron Arena. Here's a look at the championship matchups. First in Class B, Sioux Falls Christian and Hurley have gotten to know each other well over the season. They will meet in the B championship. In Class A, it's the Tri-Valley Mustangs and the Belfouche Bronx. They will meet in the Class A title game. And in Class AA, the #1 team in the regular season was Rapid City Stevens. They will face Sioux Falls Lincoln for the Class AA volleyball title. In college hoops, the Minnesota Gophers hosted Purdue this afternoon. Didn't turn out well for the Gophers. First half, Jason Walton on the follow right there to keep Minnesota close, but Purdue led it by 6 at the break. Second half didn't get much better for the Gophers. Purdue with the advantage. Woody Austin with the sweet kiss off the glass. Austin had 33 for the Boilermakers. Purdue led it by 8. Deshaun Leonard answered with some strong moves inside. But on the scoreboard, Purdue wins it by 10 over the Gophers. Minnesota has lost 4 out of their last 5. They are in danger of not making the NCAA tournament. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Ohio State over Northwestern easily. Kentucky's number 10, they beat Tennessee by 11. Oklahoma State in the Big 8 over Kansas State. Back to the Big 10, Michigan State falls to Illinois 80-71. Number 21, Tulane, the Green Wave over Mississippi by 10. Georgetown beat Pittsburgh in the Big East, but Seton Hall beat St. John's, so Seton Hall is the number 1 seed in the Big East postseason tournament because they win the regular season. And March Madness will start picking up here pretty quick. Conference tournaments next week.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Well, that's our time for now. Stay tuned for the play-by-play of the championship game between North Dakota and Northern Colorado.
Join us after the game.
The NCC 8 on KELOLAND is brought to you by Dakota Care, your community Norwest Bank, Northland Ford Dealers, DuPont, Dakota Sioux Casino, Royal Insurance, and Prostrello Motors.
We're back between games at the NCC 8 postseason tournament championship night. Northern Colorado and the University of North Dakota getting ready to do battle for that championship. Of course, the winner will get an automatic berth to the NCAA Division II postseason playoffs. Got about 14 minutes before tip-off of this game. Al Bahi now joined by Jason Garrow of Augustana. Just finished a great career at Augustana. You had some great three-point shooting this year. Set the NCC record for attempts, for makes, for three-pointers in the game. You hit 9 at USD last year. Let me ask you, first of all, what's the future for Jason Garrow hold?
The future is pretty much look for a job like any other senior, the way it sounds. Get the resumes out and some cover letters. If not, I've inquired about maybe possibly going overseas, a few contacts, but that's just something I'm looking into. No big deal. It's not a priority. Just if it happens, it happens.
Now, some of your former teammates have done that. Brett Zabel went down to Australia, and just about a month ago, Mike Hansen went down there to play in a different league. Have you talked to either one of those two to find out what their experience has been like and if it was something that would interest you?
Well, talking to Zabe, he really liked it. Hansen, they said I haven't talked to Hansen since he's been out there, but they said he would really like it. Gonder's been down there for 9 years. DJ went out there. Hazelquist. It's been a lot of people from Augie that when their Coach Gross played overseas, and Gonder was asking about myself, and so maybe he's got a few people that he's going to look into, and we're going to try to get a hold of Carl and see what he's got. So it's a possibility. I mean, it's not like it's life or death for me, but it'd be something fun. I mean, if I didn't in 4 years, if I didn't do it, maybe I'd be mad at myself not trying.
All right, and the real reason we've got you here tonight is, of course, that you've played against both these teams for the past couple of years. You're very familiar with the players on these teams, with the style of basketball they like to play, and the reason we got you here tonight is so you could preview this game for us. Tell me what's up for the championship game.
What's up? Well, the news that we got with Marcus Kodig being out for the Sioux is probably going to affect their outside game, but I think they got enough good players, quality players that can come in. UNC, they're riding high right now. They've won these 2 games. They weren't expected to win. They've been playing well on the inside, and Cheney on the outside have been playing good. So I look for a pretty good matchup. It's going to be physical down low because there's a lot of big bodies banging around. But I'm not quite sure. I'd probably have to pick the Sioux to win right now. But you never know how UNC is going to come out, and defensively they've been playing well. So hopefully we're in for a good game.
Okay, that's scratching the surface. Jason Garrow has put together what we've called Garrow's arrows to point out the keys to tonight's championship ball game. Let's get a little more in depth with that.
Northern Colorado prefers to run a half-court offense. They are a very patient team. They will run 25 to 30 seconds off the clock, and if they don't get the shot they want, they'll reset it and go and run the same play or run a different play. Also, all 5 players are in constant motion, which forces the defense to keep their intensity for a longer period of time. They need a good inside-outside mix. I think they need to establish their inside game first with Melick and Williams, who have scored well throughout the tournament, and then it'll open it up for Cheney, who's played consistently all year. Colorado needs to contain the G&G machine. That's Goldseth and Gardner. They need to keep Goldseth from penetration, and they need him to prove himself from the outside shooting the ball. Also, they need to get Gardner off the block. They need to force him out a little bit and make sure they box him off and keep him off the offensive boards. The Brillhart boost. The Bears are running on an emotional high with Coach Ron Brillhart. His contract is not being renewed for next year, and the Bears are hoping to send their coach out a winner and maybe make the administration feel that their decision was a little bit premature. The North Dakota Fighting Sioux, board crashing. The Sioux have dominated their opponents on the offensive boards. Last night against South Dakota State, the Sioux had numerous second and third chances on the offensive end, which led to their semifinal win over the Jacks. Marcus Cody's been cashing in. He's hit 10 of 11 threes this past tournament, and I don't think anybody expected Marcus to shoot this way, and it's been a big boost for the Sioux. Another key is the defense. The Sioux defense has been shutting out the key players for each team. Wednesday against Mankato State, they shut out Nathan Marks and Mine Dufault, the top scorers for Mankato. Last night, Chris White had 22 points, but